would you define gender in modern day Australia?
I always find it tough to define gender at all.
I think that it's a spectrum that has a dominant binary code.
It's as fluid as it's always been, but it's also reaching a greater position than it has before.
That people's understanding of is broadening and breaking down so slowly.
Broad categories that people try to fit people into.
It's changed for the good.
It's a construct in identity.
What does art mean to you?
It's the way that I construct narrative and reality.
It's fundamentally a creative thing, I think.
Art is kind of the lens through which that I see the world.
It's something that you can't really live without. It's something you create, that you need to create.
Active interpretation and sort of active refinement, I guess.
My biggest consolation when things are hard, and it opens my world.
I don't think there's anything that you could say this specifically is art.
It helps me connect to the past and the present and my hopes for the future. It's everywhere.
How would you describe your gender?
Yeah, mostly just confusion.
So mostly I call myself cis, and I identify as cis queer.
Of course, I am a male. I try to see from different perspectives if I can.
I call myself non-binary or agender.
I had cancer a few years ago, and as part of that I had a hysterectomy, and I had my breast removed and my hair all fell out, and then I was like suddenly thrown into this curiosity about gender.
Myself, I was pretty comfortable in just the role that I was in as a male.
The nature of gender is that it's a societal perception and category, and often gets imposed externally, whether you like it or not. Yeah, ideally no gender, no label for me.
How many genders do you know of?
Yeah, there's quite a number now.
How many genders? There's so many because it's such a cultural variant thing.
Oh my god, so there's hundreds. Okay, so what's the top?
Non-binary.
Genderqueer, non-binary, demigirl, demiboy.
Male, female, and then there's trans male, female, and then there's within Indigenous communities.
All the First Nations cultures that had their other gender identities, brother boys and sister girls.
I could name like a bundle, but I know it's basically whatever people are calling it themselves.
Have you personally faced sexism?
Probably, yeah. I mean,
I'd have to think about that, but I'd say yes.
Have I faced sexism? I mean, nothing that bad has happened, but like...
I'm a teacher, and I constantly have to tell my students, especially like 5-year-old boys, that pink is a colour without gender, that many things aren't as gendered, and that when you gender things, you generally use it to put women down and girls down.
Because we were chopping down this tree, and then some random passerby saw me carrying some logs and said to the other guys, "Oh, look at you making the girls do all the heavy lifting."
Within my upbringing, I was taught that women were there to do specific things.
It happens to males as well, but generally it's something that happens to women.
I was told that my intelligence and kind of intellectual interests were useless in a woman.
And then people act like it's an equal society too, so you've got that you've got the sort of double-edged of like you're getting lots of sort of snide comments and all these ingrained attitudes, but at the same time everyone's denying it.
And there were very clear expectations about how I would live my life and what I would do with it that I found really insulting.
Do you think gender equality is achievable in Australia?
I don't know if gender equality is achievable in Australia ever.
Oh, absolutely, but it depends how long it's going to take.
I would like to think it's achievable.
I feel that many people rely on power structures, and equality means breaking down all of those structures. So many people who would have to make those decisions for it to happen advantage from the system and sometimes don't even see their advantage.
As well, again, coming from a male perspective, you can only just look at all the roles, the heavy roles that are male dominated and have been staying that way, but the shift has come.
Like, the most we can expect is to try and make small adjustments so that more people are heard and more people have a say in the systems that we have while they slowly rot.
I think it would be tough. I don't know. I don't know if it will ever be absolute equality.